What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You were listening to Lyles Movie Files. So we've been doing this thing for a long time now, and this is actually episode 150. I was planning to do this episode last week, but I got sick, strucken down by some crazy virus that apparently was not corona. So I am back on the mend now and ready to kick this thing off with the crew. We got a lot of stuff to talk about because this would have been the week that San Diego Comic Con is in full swing, which means I've been writing a lot or showing a lot of pictures of cool figures to spend all of the rest of my money after I pay my bills. So let's get things started. Little brother Jace, how you doing?
Good. Glad to be back, man. Glad to have you back.
Oh, thanks. Glad to be back. Jay King, what's up with you?
Oh man, I'm cooling, man. Glad to be back home. Glad you're doing well, brother.
Oh, thanks,
You
man.
know,
Thank you for dropping off the supplies. It was much appreciated.
but they don't need to know I have a heart. Come
Uh,
on, man. Go ahead with that shit.
and Chief, what's going on with you, man?
Man, I'm just happy to learn that J. King soft, man. You know what I mean? He's like the Eminem, you know what I mean? Hard on the outside, soft in the middle, you know what I mean? Okay. I'm still looking
I do it for
my
you too,
supplies,
Chief.
King.
I do it for you too, Chief. You know it already.
And I'm glad to hear that you are on the mend, big homie, and that nothing was, you know what I mean, potentially seriously wrong with you. So that's always a blessing, man, especially in 2020, the year that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? So,
It's the wrong kind of
yeah.
giving. Giving in the absolute worst way possible. All right, let's start off because my man Jon Boyega was asked by a fan on Twitter if we might see Finn, his character in the recent Star Wars trilogy, if he'd be interested or might we see him in any future projects. Boyer responded with, "No, thank you. I've moved on." Before following up with, "Not into playing one role for too long. I have more to offer than that." So, um, I feel like back when he was announced to star in The Force Awakens, he was super excited, like really geeked up about this. And I'm sure there could be some validity to it. I've done this role for 3 films. People hate those films, and they're kind of mixed on my character. Why should I keep doing it? But I also feel like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth are like, more? Sure, we can do that. We love these characters. We love making these movies together. Let's do it. And I feel like if there's anything, I would much rather see Finn in like a Disney Plus series where he actually gets to do something.
Finn!
That would be cool.
Hooray!
Yeah, besides yelling for Ray. So what do you guys think? Jace?
Hey, I'm thinking after so much hate. I mean, it's like Kelly Tran, person you looked like you were going to have a storyline with was basically ran off social media because she had a character that just didn't have a story, but, idiot non-fanboys, not really fanboys, Star Wars fans, just basically ran her off, and it's like, I don't need this. Like, if y'all are such jerks, and like I said, these, and I think kind of he hit the Ray Fisher moment. He's just like, this stuff wasn't good, and I don't really have to keep going, especially right now. I don't have to say, hey, I'm going to be at Star Wars Con or whatever, any celebration events. He's like, I'm good with this Star Wars stuff. I can't even I applaud him. He's like, hey, I got my money. The residual checks will keep coming in, but for right now, I'm good with this Star Wars universe, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah. Chief, how about you?
You know what? I feel like if the characters had been good and the people wanted to see the characters, like if the movies had been good, he would have probably been in for it. Nobody wants to be coming back playing a character that's hated. You know what I mean? This is not wrestling. You don't go in and enjoy being, the villain. So yeah, I think Star Wars hurt his career more than helped it. When you're associated with bad movies, that's no bueno. You know what I mean? Even if they grossed what they grossed. You know what I mean? I think they they didn't really show his acting chops. You can't walk away and be like, damn, man, the movie was garbage, but the acting was A plus. That never happened. So I think he's right. I think go ahead, bury Finn wherever he goes, and move on to a new project, man. Something where the people can love you again. Because that Star Wars left a bad taste on everybody's tongue. All those characters, and I'm not talking about just him. I'm talking about Daisy.
The whole crew.
Everybody.
Nobody was anything else with it. It's crazy. It's like, thanks, and we're good. I'd like to see him do something in, either one, Marvel or DC, if DC decides they want to put together a film universe at any point in time. But yeah, I'd like to see him do something with Marvel Studios. I feel like there's maybe one more black hero left that they haven't put onto the big screen, if that. But yeah, I think that would be cool. Javon, I got something for you, man. We've been talking about Tenet for a minute here, and Christopher Nolan is like, my ego is bigger than COVID, and I have two things. The first thing is this. So Warner Brothers apparently sent out an off the record statement to journalists, apparently, who are really popular, not like random blog dudes like me, but they sent out a press release talking about Tenet not coming out in August like Nolan decreed it would. And in this, it was like 9 off the record paragraphs that they sent out. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how off the record works.
I mean, in the government sense, but not in the film release sense. Like please educate us. Please educate us, Jeff.
In the off the record, you have to go, hey, this is off. What I'm about to tell you is off the record, okay? Then you go, sure, no problem. This is off the record. Then when you say what you have to say, you go, okay, now you can put it back on the record.
Okay.
All right. So sending this in a letter, an online letter, does not constitute any agreement to any off the record statement. So one writer, Texas Monthly writer Dan Solomon, posted what Warner Brothers sent him about Tenet. Here's some of the excerpts. Journalists covering film should have a vested interest in the health of our business, and that fair coverage should reflect that the reporters covering the industry needs us to succeed. And any claim that Tenet would require $800 million at the box office to break even is not accurate. And Warner Brothers also reportedly requested journalists not to report that streaming could damage the movie theater industry. I am so curious who Christopher Nolan has pictures of at Warner Brothers. They are going hard like this with him. I mean, like we're laying down. This is our movie, dude.
Jeff, I don't even think it's so much that he has pictures. We always throw that around. Who did he get? Who did he catch up? Right? And it's true that it does happen. And somebody's got dirt on somebody, and it's not until you piss people off in Hollywood, or a good percentage of people, that you get exposed. I.e., what's his name? Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah.
I think with Nolan, he's made enough money for the studio that he can he can write his own checks, right? And they're not going to do anything to piss him off because between the Dark Knight series, Inception, what was another one of his big time blockbusters that made a lot of money?
Interstellar.
Interstellar, yeah, he's made a lot of money for. Does he have an exclusivity deal with Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah, man. He made them a lot of money, dog. We're talking about $1 billion franchise, Inception, which made a ton of money, I'm sure.
Inception made $832 billion.
830. He made damn near $1 billion off that one movie.
Yeah.
That some people are still unsure what it was about. Yeah, this dude has made that studio what? Maybe I guess we could safely say he's made them about $4 or $5 billion.
Let me see. I can run through it real fast for you.
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises is 1.082. Dark Knight is a cool 1 billion. Inception's the third one's 832. And let me see. He is actually that's it for excuse me. That's it for the top 30.
Even Batman Begins
I would feel like it made more, but I don't see it
had
on.
to make $1 billion.
No, because that was the one coming back, and it was like, yeah, people burn out on Batman. Batman
Really?
Begins is
I'm shocked.
359, 359 world.
359 million
Yeah, but I mean,
worldwide.
yeah, it made 205
Damn.
domestically. That's less than the first Tim Burton, and less than
Damn.
Superman Returns.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Damn.
was. I mean, we look back at it fondly, but it was not like this super huge hit.
Monster. Okay, I thought it was. I thought it was
Yeah.
another $1 billion movie. Just based
Nah.
on it, the fact that it's Batman. I guess
Yeah.
it was a slow burn, right?
A real slow burn.
burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just no. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
nah, so it's like this deal of you don't see them doing nearly as much. I mean, it's like, hey, we move Wonder Woman. We're just moving Wonder Woman, whatever we need. It's not this big deal of, well, Warner Brothers is staying pat to see if they can get Wonder Woman 1984 out. It's like, let's move it. But for Christopher Nolan, it's like, well, we gotta figure out a way to make this work. I'm just, I don't know, dude. They're being real stubborn about this.
I wonder if it's because he carries a lot of weight because of the gross of his movies. And also if he doesn't have pictures of the studio head engaging in goat play or something like that. I would like to think I would like to think it's because he's a top earner. He's a top earner. Let's not piss him off, and this could be a potential blockbuster movie. Another one. It's got Denzel's son, so let's see where it goes. I would like to see more trailers for Tenet. I need to see the 2-minute long trailer for it. I still haven't done that.
So
he's all about the mystery.
I'll put this out for everybody here. What do you guys think is Warner Brothers' highest grossing movie of all?
Oh.
I'll give you a hint that it's part of a franchise.
Superman.
No.
No, I'm gonna go with Dark Knight. Dark Knight.
No. Dark Knight Rises.
Damn, really?
Number 3.
Oh, wow.
Chief, you got
it
to
ain't
guess?
that Batman with that damn Batman with Jack Nicholson, is it?
Nope, not that one. Number 1 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
That's their all-time high grosses.
Wow, makes sense.
I feel like you guys will never get the number 2 one, even if I told you it came out in the last 3 years.
Last 3 years?
Last 3 years. I guarantee you it's going to surprise you. You got to guess?
Aquaman, Justice League. No?
Red Sparrow.
No, gosh, get out of here. Chief, you got to guess, man?
Shazam.
3 years?
Yeah. He got blurted out. I'm just kind of waiting to see what you say first.
No, I mean he took my guess.
What was your guess?
I was gonna say Shazam too. Mm-hmm.
No, it's actually Aquaman.
Aquaman? Wow.
It's their second highest grossing film. And it's like $2 billion away basically from beating not too many. It's pretty close on the heels of Deathly Hallows, all things considered. But yeah, so here's the question I have for you guys.
I'm sorry. What? How have they not promoted the hell out of that?
So they did, but it made $808 million internationally to $335 here.
Okay.
You know what
he's not a traditional blonde, blue-eyed hero, so he plays better internationally.
You know what I'm very shocked at?
What's that?
The fact that Aquaman is number 2, and I'm looking at the list now. Aquaman beat out Dark Knight, Deathly Hallows, Inception, Superman, Wonder Woman, Fantastic Beasts. I didn't think that was going to be a big earner. The Matrix Reloaded, the Lego Movie. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal, right? So I mentioned all that because I really wonder if DC. This is going to sound crazy. If DC shouldn't have cut ties with Nolan in terms of being the end all be all for their comic book universe way sooner, would they have made or would they have caught up to the level of Marvel Studios? Because if you look at the top 25 grossing films for Warner Brothers, number two is Aquaman, number three, Dark Knight Rises, four, Joker, six, The Dark Knight, 15, Batman vs. Superman, 17, Wonder Woman, 20, Suicide Squad, 24, Man of Steel, 25, Justice League. That's a lot in your top 25. And you have to realize that some of these films are kind of handcuffed by doing it the Nolan way. Like the Superman films are basically done in the style of Christopher Nolan, super serious, don't go too, don't make it too fun. It's got to be based in reality. Christopher Nolan's an executive producer on Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and maybe he's like, yeah, that sounds fine. But with that influence on those films, I wonder if they had just been like, yo, these Avenger films look like they're going really well. And if they had shifted to making more of their films like Aquaman and Wonder Woman faster, say 2011, 12, after Avengers came out, how much further along they would be and how many more of their films would be in the top 25 highest grossing list for Warner Brothers. Chief, what do you think, man?
I think that Warner Brothers mostly sucks. Mostly. So I think that really to be making any money at all right now is a blessing in the tank. I didn't realize they were making that much off those films. Except for the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed Shazam. I wouldn't have guessed Aquaman was in there. I know, they crapped all over Superman and the Justice League with some cut. Maybe that Harry Potter money kept them going. Because if you think about it, there was 9 films.
Harry Potter's, I think the last one was 2011. So right after Dark Knight Rises was 2012. So literally, if they had changed their take on how they're building this universe, so instead of like, we got to make it just like a Christopher Nolan film. So if Man of Steel was, more
Superman,
and like in a Thor Ragnarok kind of way, where it was like it respected the character, but it was still fun. How much different the DC universe would look, and how I feel like if Aquaman is number 2, and so many of the others are like in the teens to 25, then they could have started to break that monopoly of the Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings films in there, because it's I don't know, it just feels like if they had just let somebody else take over the vision, where they weren't trying to make a Christopher Nolan version of Superman, which I think was what Zack Snyder was doing, it could have been a lot. They could have made a lot more money, and using that as a template for all the rest of them. Maybe Justice League would be their highest grossing film.
I was going to say, the template really is like Shazam. Because Shazam is really what Superman could have been. It's like, it had enough personality, had a good actor for the role, and just doesn't need to let his own father die and then kill Zod. Like,
I really like Man of Steel, but boy, those are two things. It's like, okay, who decided that was a good play? Jay King, what's your thoughts, man?
For the late reply, but I'm sitting here looking at this list of Warner Brothers top grossers, and if you go to All Time Warner, what is this? The numbers. This website I'm pulling this from. Mm-hmm. Their top 20 grossing films all came out within the last 10 to 12 years. I'm looking now I'm in 201 to 300. There are a lot of movies that are so much better than the movies that are in their top 20 that gross next to nothing. Like The Color Purple, which is a classic, and I understand, things being as they are. The Color Purple didn't even touch 100 million. I can imagine if the Color Purple came out today, in this day and age, that would have been at least 150 to 200 million. Training Day barely scratched 100 million. And when I look at their top 20, I see
a lot of Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter, it's
Hobbit.
Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and the rest is DC with Inception thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
All of these movies came out in the last 20 years, so
Gravity.
the oldest entry in their top 20.
Yeah, well, I think the oldest one in your top. Yeah, you're right. Is
2001.
And you'd have to go back to, how far? 96 with Twister or something older, and that's 38 on their list. But yeah,
that's 38.
I'm just curious because it seems like if they had switched it over and done a different format, they probably would have made a whole lot more money. Just based off, hey, let's make these superhero movies fun. Sure, we're all about it. And you see by that the Hobbits and Harry Potter that audiences love serial films. So it's just,
we'll keep coming back. We're dumb. We'll keep coming back to the trough. But Jeff, I've always thought this, y'all. I thought with the DC universe, what they could have did was take a fun R-rated approach to their movies because, for what it's worth, has anybody seen the Joker? Y'all seen the Joker?
Yeah, I've seen the Joker.
I like the Joker. I like it. I thought it was going to be terrible until I sat there and shut up and watched it. I really did like that movie. And as dark as it was, it had some great moments. I do feel like with DC, they should take we're anti-Marvel because, hey, we're going to take it there. We can be R-rated and be tongue-in-cheek and funny. I think that like a la Deadpool, right?
I think you probably like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey too.
No, that stunk. But the thing is, it was tongue in cheek. The only thing about the biggest issue I had with Birds of Prey, it was a mess. And I get it's Harley Quinn, but at the same time, typical Hazel story, the thing was a mess. It could have been better. It definitely could have been better. But we got what we got. I keep saying that with WB, with Warner Brothers and their DC affiliation, man, make these movies. You can R-rate them, and you can make them fun. Make them fun and tongue-in-cheek and hip. Okay. You don't have to go... Go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say, who are your top 3 non-big 3, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, in DC that you would go R-rated?
Oh, easy. My man, Spider Jerusalem. And I know that's not...
Didn't you?
You knew I was going to say Spider Jerusalem. It's only because you could throw somebody like Johnny Depp or whomever in that role and they would eat it up, and you could go and push that character and push this movie, and it's topical. The character himself, he's not necessarily superhero, but he's... how could I... He's not a superhero. He's not like superpowered or nothing like that. But he's got an awesome skill set, and it would tell a great story.
Well suited for their HBO Max deal.
Yeah,
I think they can't afford to do R-rated characters because they've done dark versions of these, and people don't like that. But I think it's a matter.
Here's the thing: they've done dark versions of these that sucked. You can do an R-rated version of it if you make it fun to watch.
Okay,
it has to be fun to watch.
Like DC. When they did the animated ones that are a little too R-rated, most people said it sucked.
Yeah.
Say again?
Most people, like, whenever they take, like, they did it was, like, the alternate take on Superman, that he was, like, basically General Zod's son. It was, like, an elsewhere story. But I remember reading, actually, somebody's review that they posted on Lyle'sMovieFile.com. And they really was just like, hey, I'm sick of seeing all these alternate takes on Superman. He's a great hero. That people come for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in DC. And it's like if I was a studio head, I would go, yeah, maybe Spider Girl's, on HBO. But if I'm trying to sink, let's say, 75 to 150 million dollars, I need my big three, and that's.
I mean,
DC. I can't blame.
I dig that, Jace, but at the same time, with Marvel's script, they were able to give you Thor, Ant-Man, Black Panther,
also didn't make
Captain
them
Marvel. They didn't make them R-rated, but here's the thing. You don't have to make them PG-13 to be accessible. They don't all have to be R-rated. Maybe I need to clarify that. They don't all have to be R-rated, but you can make them a little edgier, a little hipper, a little less cartoony, a little reality-based. Like, give it that little 70s grit, but funny, engaging, and entertaining.
You said that movie's fun. What was your take on Shazam again?
Shazam was... Watching Shazam, the first act I liked when it got serious. And first things first, Stanley Tucci as the bad guy in that just didn't fit for me. Maybe because I've been seeing Stanley Tucci since Miami Vice,
Shazam,
and looking at him.
Had Mark Strong as the bad guy.
No, it was Stanley Tucci, dog.
No, it was Mark Strong.
That was Mark Strong? You sure? The bald guy?
100%.
Yeah.
The bald guy in that. That was Mark Strong and not Stanley Tucci.
Yep. Stanley
really?
Tucci, Hunger Games.
Oh, he looks so much like him. I thought that was Stanley Tucci. Good God Almighty.
Yeah.
Looking at him now, I'm like, yeah, that's Stanley Tucci. But okay, even looking at that guy, I'm like, I didn't like the second half of that movie because it just lost momentum. It became more about this bad guy that I'm trying to figure out why you so mad and still trying to rooting for Shazam, but it was tough to root for Shazam in the second act. It was just so forced, He realizes, okay, blah blah blah. My mother didn't want me. Now this is my adopted family. I was like, yeah, I don't care anymore. It just never really clicked. It never really clicked for me. And that's not to say that you need to make every movie to be Shazam. You have to find what makes this character work. And you have to find the scenarios, the bad. You have to make this whole thing work. The scenarios, the bad guy, everything has to work for the character. As opposed to just saying, we're going to throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks.
Okay.
That's what I think they do with these movies, as opposed to saying, hey, we're going to try to make this character resonate with the audience and give them real conflict. Because that was part of my biggest problem with Shazam. He had no real conflict. Yeah, he's an orphan and all of that, but he ain't hurting for nothing. He's not hurting.
I think maybe some of them just aren't for you because that's literally the core of the character. You don't have to like all of them, but I think he was one that they did right. I think they did Wonder Woman right.
No, they did. The thing is, even with like Shazam, they did right, but the thing is, it fell off. It fell off. You don't feel that much empathy towards the character because the character himself isn't really hurting for anything because he was being a prick for most of the first half of the movie. You don't really feel for this kid because he's kind of an ass.
So last week, I missed the big anniversary, but I'm going to bring it back up because why not? Last week was the 20th anniversary of a little indie film called X-Men that changed the superhero movie industry forever. It introduced audiences to Hugh Jackman and then did some amazing fan casting with Patrick Stewart as Professor X. And there were a bunch of other people as well running around in black leather, Matrix-inspired outfits, laughing about, hey, what do you think? We're running around in yellow spandex. The X-Men went on to make a lot of money for 20th Century Fox. It showed the viability of the superhero genre once again after failures of Batman and Robin and other assorted DC misfires, because Marvel was pretty much dormant until Blade kicked things off and was followed up shortly by X-Men. X-Men, of course, went on to become the prominent 20th Century Fox franchise. It launched 6 sequels, and really got things going for other studios like Paramount, Sony, and everybody else to say, hey, well, Marvel's got tons of characters that we have licenses for. Why don't we make movies on these characters too? Hoping to mimic the success of the first X-Men. And looking back on it, X-Men is not a good movie. It's just not good. It's not one of those films like Superman or Tim Burton's first two Batman films that's timeless and holds up really well despite, not being able to do CGI at the highest 2020 levels. Um I think some of it's the casting and some of it is just costume design. I mean, you can look at Stargirl and you can see better costumes that are accurate to the actual comic book looks. But yeah, so X-Men kicked things off, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on X-Men, and then I want you guys to, well, I'll let you guys get your thoughts on X-Men first before we get to the next part. Chief, what was your take on X-Men when you saw it, and what do you think of it like now?
Which one was that? The one where, let's see, because they were all garbage. Is this the one where Rogue runs away and Wolverine finds her in the bar?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right, yeah, garbage. That's my take. That movie was some cut. Did he lose his? Which one was the one where he lost his memory at the end? That wasn't X-Men, was it? That was no, that was another joint.
It's just them. It's just that whack first squad. I think one of my biggest problems with it, they had the X-Men as Storm, Cyclops, and Jean Grey, and like that's the entire X-Men. Where by that point, like 50 X-Men running around in the comics.
Was this the one where they turned the Senator into a gel, a blob?
Yeah, and Mystique.
Yeah, see, I hated that. And then they gave Storm the whack line. You know what happens to frogs when lightning hits them? Same thing as everything else. I'm like, that was a line? Every time I hear that line, I just cringe.
And it was really set up to be a good line, too. It was like, oh, word, what you about to say?
Right. I was like, uh-oh, she about to hit something. I was like, yeah, that's how this movie is. That sums up that movie, that line. Because you're like, you expected something great, and then you just get a pile of poop. Yeah. Yeah, so, that movie was garbage, man. There was nothing. I mean, the whole X-Men, I don't know. Yeah, the whole X-Men, but 20 years ago, that was garbage. And then they just they said, hey, this movie sucks. You know what we'll do? We'll make more. And they proceeded to make like 8 more movies.
Chase, what's your take on it? On the first X-Men?
Oh, I thought most of the cast was actually spot on. Beside Halle Berry, if we had Gunner to go for 10 minutes about why she was a bad casting, just insert that in your imagination here. But all the rest of them were good. But then, like I said, it was just, is this just have a love triangle between these guys and Professor X and old Magneto, who doesn't look like he can do anything in a fight. I mean, I understand based on his history, you really should have an older guy, but somehow just kind of, I thought they already could have fudged the math on the casting there. It's like, oh, his mutant powers gets him so he doesn't age as quick as everybody else. Yeah, that's what it is. But I remember watching it there. It's like, yeah, oh, this isn't really good, but I'll watch it. And yeah, I was like, kind of okay. This is, I like the interaction between Professor X and Magneto, but then when it comes to a fight, it's like, okay, why is the old dude here? Oh wait, he's dying halfway through the movie. Oh wait, he's not dying. He's just old. I mean, there was just so many things not to like about that movie. You're just like, oh, at least they're trying for comic book movies. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I think I liked it because I felt like I was supposed to like it, and there were things where it's like, Like I really, really thought Hugh Jackman was great as Wolverine, like throughout the entire time. I think that was one of the best deals. I just wish they had a shrink ray so he could be shorter, because it's like I think he's 6'4". I think you lose so much of the point of Wolverine when he's taller than everybody else. he has a bit of a Napoleon complex, and to have him looking eye to eye with Cyclops is just kind of it missed the whole point where he's supposed to be looking up at everybody, toughest dude in the room, despite not being the tallest guy in the room. And I didn't really think Famke Johnson was a great Jean Grey. I thought she was a little old for that role, even in the first film. Halle Berry is not African, and they didn't bother giving her an African accent. And I just was like, ugh, not good. Just her hair looked bad. Like I said, I thought they needed more X Men and not just three people, and hope that Wolverine and Rogue want to sign up and join the team. Javon, how about you, man?
Sucked.
All right, so I was watching X Men: Days of Future Past 2 weeks ago, and it was so funny how I felt like this was the best of the X-Men films, sort of, kind of, but they had so many problems that just continued to plague the entire series, and which makes me feel like if I'm ranking them, X-Men First Class is the best one because that one at least tries to make sense of why Magneto and Mystique are such a huge focus, and the whole deal with Charles and with Beast. And then they have a cameo by Wolverine just kind of blowing him off, so he's not a focus. And it felt more like a team. Everybody had outfits, and it was the best of how to do the X Men, which is ironic because literally the only X Men or only two X Men in that are Banshee and Beast, and everybody else just kind of thrown in there as like, hey, part of the X Men, but not really. And they fight the Hellfire Club, so it really feels like an X Men movie. And then you go to Days of Future Past, which does this amazing job of taking the old Bryan Singer films and the new Matthew Vaughn inspired direction with the first class cast and merging them into this film. But then they really screw up and make Mystique the whole hero. Like she's the one, the mutant that stops everything and saves the day. And it's like, oh gosh, what is wrong with you guys? The X Men are not Mystique and Magneto, and it just continues to be a huge problem that really dooms and further plagues uh, X Men Apocalypse and the second abortion known as Dark Phoenix. And I don't understand. But anyway, so guys, I'm going to put it out to you right now. Break it down as long as you want. The floor is yours. Chief, rank your favorite or rank your X-Men films from maybe, in your case, steaming hot garbage to less steaming hot garbage. Just the X-Men films, so no Deadpool, no Wolverine.
Which one was? It's so goddamn confusing with these things because they're all X-Men origins, X-Men this.
Okay, so the X-Men films that are on the table are X2, where Nightcrawler joins the team. Jean Grey apparently dies holding back water. X-Men The Last Stand, where Magneto and Mystique help Jean become Dark Phoenix. She kills everybody of importance, and Wolverine kills her in the end. Then we go to X-Men First Class, which tries to create an actual X-Men movie. X-Men Days of Future Past is next, where they're in the 70s and trying to stop the Sentinels from being created and in the future becoming these super killing machines because Mystique messed up. And then X-Men Apocalypse takes the franchise to the 80s and they fight a Power Rangers infused version of Apocalypse. And last but not least, and certainly least, is X-Men Dark Phoenix, where Mystique dies, yay, and the team fights Dark Phoenix, who is influenced by aliens this time to destroy the universe. Whew, man, they sound terrible in synopsis.
Oh, wow. That sounded all terrible, yeah.
You did it.
It is funny because I know what's that? X-Men Apocalypse? That was garbage.
It was.
Can y'all hear the thunder and lightning above me?
Yeah, I hear it. I see it outside.
So that's gonna be that's the worst. I think so. I don't think I watched Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm about to say you hadn't seen that if you didn't put that as your worst one.
So I didn't watch that. And what was the last one? That was the Dark Phoenix, the last one that came out.
Yes.
And the best one, I guess, if we could say the best one was the one with the Sentinels in it. Was that an X-Men movie?
It's a Future Past.
That one, and the one with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, First Class.
I didn't see. I named Apocalypse already. I didn't see the last one with Jean Grey. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. Because I'm getting older now, and I feel like when I waste 2 hours of my life, it means something now. You know what I mean? Like that means something. That's like 2 hours that I won't get back. That's 2 hours that I stayed unhappy. You know what I mean? And let me ask you something. Who stays in an environment when they don't have to for 2 hours unhappy? So those will be my picks right there. Like I said, I didn't see all of them. Like I said, I think I'm missing like one or two of them. And I think half of the ones I did see, like Apocalypse, I saw it, and it was so garbagey that I think I was on my phone while I was watching it. So, you know what I mean? Like one of those joints where you go through your phone, you look up, see the action, like,
Yeah, that was Apocalypse.
Those are my picks, man. X-Men, it's so hard. Like if you was like rate Harry Potter or something like that, pick your favorite. X-Men, they're like, you know what I mean? If you remember Superman, was it part 2? And
of course.
he comes in at the end of the movie, and he's like, comes into the diner, and he's like, hey, he's sitting in my favorite seat. And the dude's like, well, come over here and get it. He's like, I've never seen garbage eating garbage before. And that's how I feel about X-Men. Like, they're all garbage. You know what I mean? Like, they all trash can movies.
Let me see if Jace has some ideas then, because I figured you were gonna go hard with they're all trash. So Jace, what do you got?
I've never seen garbage eat garbage before. One of my favorite petty Superman moments. Okay. Out of this, I don't actually have to be too petty. I think there were like 3 X-Men movies that were actually good. I like Days of Future Past because it tried to correct the garbage that was X-Men Last Stand, which actually gives it an extra point over the number 2, X-Men First Class. The next one is, and Jeff, I don't know if you're going to count this one, The Wolverine.
No, just the X-Men movie.
Okay. He was still part of it, so I didn't know. Okay.
I said no Wolverine or no Deadpool.
Okay. All right. X-Men, the first one, it was, I spoke about that before. X-Men 2 continued that trend of, really? We're going here? We're not going to change anything up, make this better? Okay. And then the last X-Men movie that I watched before I figured this was not going to happen, X-Men Last Stand. That is one movie when they put it on Disney Plus. I'm like, do you expect people to watch this? No.
Come on, man. You're doing yourself a disservice not watching these other movies on Disney Plus. They're free.
I'm going to refer you to Chief's Last Stand. Even if I'm working from home, I still couldn't have that on in the background without getting distracted. Like, oh, come on. This is just garbage.
I will say Dark Phoenix has one of the better X-Men fight scenes, so at least it has that working for it.
Yeah, but would you suffer through X-Men Apocalypse to see that fight scene?
I have to, because I said Dark Phoenix. I've already watched this. I feel like you're cheating the system by not watching them. That's all. All right.
You're right.
That's your ranking. J. King, you got a ranking on these, man?
Of course, the obvious First Class, then Days of Future Past. Those feel like the only 2 real movies in the series. Next is X2. Followed by the first X-Men movie. Next up is this is the dredges. This is diarrhea central here. So we talking Apocalypse. I wanted Apocalypse to be good because Apocalypse is just such a grand villain. This
Mm-hmm.
just fell amazingly flat for from everybody, you know. Next up is X3 because that was diarrhea. That was like the highest grade of like Nah, we ain't even talking about Mexican street taco diarrhea in Mexico. We talking about eating from a food stand in Mumbai. That's what we talking about. We talking about straight up no sanitation, nobody's washing their hands. We're talking this is giving it right back to the earth as soon as you consume it. That movie stunk. When you got Vinny Jones playing Juggernaut and they're soliciting lines for Vinny Jones from the internet based on the X-Men cartoon dub overs of "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." I was like, all right, I already know what we had. This is gonna be bad, and it was. It did not disappoint. It gave us Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Wasn't that his first appearance as Beast in
Yeah, it
that
was.
movie? It
He was.
was, which was he
It was
was good. He
terrible.
was the best part. Well,
Uh,
I thought he was the best part. Right?
Absolutely.
Everything else was trash. Down to the final fight scene, it was just like, come on, man, what the hell are we doing? What is this about? You know? So there's that. And last and certainly least is Dark Phoenix. I'm one of the few people that sat through Dark Phoenix that I know. Because hey, look, y'all know me. I've watched some stinkers in my day. Um, I like bad movies that don't know they. I like bad movies that know they're bad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I like bad movies that know they're bad. I don't like bad movies that are up for Oscar contention in their minds. You know,
Right.
in their minds, they're for Oscar contention. It seemed like that's what that movie was. They were like really gunning to be a good movie, but it stunk. It stunk. It just wasn't good.
No,
As much as
sir.
I wanted to like it, you can't help but trash it. You can't help but trash it. Um, that's it. I wish the X Men series was better because they deserve better. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we deserve a full X Men with Colossus, Iceman, a real Rogue as an adult woman, Gambit. We deserved this movie, a well casted movie, and we're not getting it. We're getting slapped together trash as a cash grab because I don't know if Fox even gives a damn about making a real movie. They're just figuring, hey, if we throw X Men's label on it, it's Marvel. It's got to sell, right? We
And
need
they
a
did.
real X Men movie, and they did several times over. We need a
Yep.
real X Men movie. It's about that damn time.
Fellas, it's that special magical time of the week again. Do you have any nominees for Dummies of the Week? Jace, let's
Wow.
start with you.
Okay. My dummy of the week is the Washington football team.
Damn it, Jason!
I kind of walked on the first go, but man, I forgot how stupid that was.
Quite
I
stupid.
mean,
That's what our dad calls Washington. Ever since he decided, you know what, this name is too racist for me to say. He's been calling them the Washington football team, and their board of directors, their creative content folk, were like, I got nothing. I'm in quarantine. Let's just go with it. I mean, I'm not
Hold up,
sure you could
y'all.
have come up
are we
with a
getting
bigger
marketing
name.
department on?
Hold up, y'all.
Just we're good.
Hold up, Jace. How much did they pay this consulting firm?
Too much.
This
If it was,
outside interest
it was
consulting firm.
it was too much.
They could have just gave your
I would have
dad.
liked the name better if they called it the Washington basketball team. At least that would make you pause and take attention. Like, well, what?
Like what?
No, we actually play football. Oh, I get it. Yeah, okay.
Oh, got it. Hey, they could have basically gave your dad a gift card to his favorite restaurant or store
Yeah, he
and
would
settled the debt for that.
right. I think you should talk to a lawyer because he's been calling that. Chief, do you have something else, man? Because that's definitely my dummy of the week too.
I was gonna go with Yeezy, but I felt like it was a little too hard. I mean, a little too easy. Uh, although the Harriet Tubman statement.
Yo, he needs to take his medicine. That's really what's going on with him.
All of it. Like the whole
I mean,
bottle.
But
I can't even call him dummy
but
of
I'm
the week
gonna
anymore. He's clearly off of
I'm
his
gonna go
meds.
with old girl who asked the dude the Spanish guy, Latino guy, who was mowing the lawn for his papers.
Dude.
I,
Gosh.
so she's mowing the lawn. He's minding her business. She's like, "Where's your papers?" And he was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "I need to see your papers." And it just, what's crazy?
All of that?
And me and Gunner was. You think that when somebody pulls out in this day and age, when somebody pulls out a camera phone, it seems like instantly you would stop your foolishness. You know what I mean? You shut your fool lip up. You know what I mean? But
No, sir.
they seem to go harder. Like, and when they see the camera, they're like Eddie Murphy in that movie, Showtime. Him and De Niro. And they just go harder. They're like, all right, the camera's on me. This is my time. And I'm like, yo, when the camera comes out, be like, have a good day, sir. What did you say? I said for you to have a good day. You know what I mean? That would be me. I'd be like, you motherfucker. As soon as the camera comes up, have a good day, sir. What did you say to me? I said, have a good day, sir. Enjoy your day. It's so beautiful outside. Didn't you call me? Sir, stop that. That is ugly. You know what I mean?
You'd be very
They come
polite.
out that joint, they see the camera on them, man. They're like, this is my time to be famous. And maybe they don't like their job. I don't know what's going on. But I just figured, like, yo, why don't you chill out with all that dumb stuff, man? Like, why are you guys the world police? America, fuck yeah. Like, chill out. We don't need no world police, man. We don't need no world police, man.
Well, that's going to do it before we get a power outage up in this piece. Thank y'all for rolling with me for 150 episodes. It's been crazy. Here's to another 150. If we were in person, we'd probably pop some champagne or sparkling cider and call it a celebration. So maybe we'll have to do a virtual one. But thank y'all. Appreciate you. And thank y'all out there for listening as well for the 150th time. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.